Do you wonder if your nervous system is truly regulated? Or do you go around thinking whether if you just simply learn to survive really, really well? Well, if so, if you are kind of like questioning these areas in your life, stay around because I'm going to go over how to recognize patterns that we have normalized into our regular day lives that are actually survival driven behaviors or habits that sometimes is just so normalized in our lives that we just don't even think about them causing us to be dysregulated in any sort of way. Also, I will be talking about not only how to identify patterns that we have normalized as survival driven behaviors, but what's the role in our fight, flight, freeze, and fawn responses. And lastly, I will talk also about a little bit of how to self-soothe, regulate once we have an increased awareness and understanding of what survival-driven patterns, behaviors, actions, thoughts are all about. So stay with me. This is live. I will be more than happy to connect and answer any of your questions around this particular topic. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, just to give you a little bit of backstory around this topic, is that we have, as society, identified that positive thinking, mindset work, it's extremely powerful, but it's not enough. It's not a work that it's being enough for us to really transform and to access a lifestyle or joy and happiness in a way that we so much crave and decide, even more for people that have no problem accomplishing things, people that have no problems being successful and getting things done and going after things and making things reality in their lives, yet continuing to hit this wall, whether they feel somehow disconnected regardless of everything that they have achieved in their lives. Or they may be good at some area, but in any other area, they're still struggling. But why is this? Why is this connected somehow to the survival driven behaviors that I was talking at the beginning and how to identify these? Well, before I go into the nervous system dysregulation and how this comes up in our lives as something that we like easily dismiss or normalize, there's something that we need to learn about the fight, flight, fawn, freeze response. And it's not what we typically tend to think about it. Because what we have learned up till now about the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response is that this tends to come up as a response to danger. Let's say if a tire, all of a sudden, this could easily just trigger that what fight or flight response or freeze response, right? But in reality, the fight, flight, freeze response, yes, it comes up and it's triggered as a way of our brain perceiving danger. But what about if you give yourself a chance and open up your hearts and thoughts and minds to what I'm about to say? What about the role of the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn responses in our nervous system being actually part of a default safety set? Think about it this way. You have a house and you have certain limits around your house that you choose to put a fence up, right? So even though that this inside that fence, you feel that there's nothing going wrong, right? So the fight, flight, freeze response would be kind of like an alarm if someone or anything representing danger towards you were to jump over that fence. But here's the interesting point around this. The fight, flight, freeze response already has to have or has a specific idea of what is safety to you and what is not. And this is the part that we rarely looked at when it comes to the fight, flight, freeze response. Because If at an early age you learn not to trust people, or that you weren't going to be helped or supported, because whenever you needed something or someone the most, they weren't there for you, then that experience in itself became part of your fence. And whenever you do things by yourself as an adult, and now we're kind of like diving into how to identify moments in our lives where our nervous system can be dysregulated and we normalize it. Going back to that childhood hypothetical example, if no one was there and you learn to do things by yourself in order for you to be seen, to be acknowledged, to survive, what it's going to happen is that it's going to be a normal behavior, that you don't rely on anyone, you don't open up to anyone, because opening up can be dangerous to others. And that has become your norm. That has become what feels natural to you. But you know what? It's still within the survival fence. And even if someone cares truly for you, and they try to just to approach you at an emotional level to take care of you, your fight, flight, and freeze response will be activated, even when that's not real danger. And this is the part of the fight, flight, freeze response. And I think that many people just get wrong, because it's not merely just a reaction. It has its guidelines. It has an outline of safety that inside that space, whenever not activated, it does not mean that we're not operating on survival. And that is the missing piece, because most of these moments and experiences that set the foundation to what is safety for us and what it isn't were formed whenever language wasn't even evolved or developed in our lives. Therefore, it becomes subconscious and unconscious, this safety network, or this sense of safety that has become normalized. And what are subtle ways for our nervous system to be dysregulated and for us not to even notice? Whenever, let's say, and I've heard this so much from my clients or friends or people that are extremely successful, whenever they take the opportunity to find help for them to have more time and to rest, this is something that they often say: I don't know, it feels I have like so much time, and I feel that I need to do something, that there's something that I need to do. It doesn't feel right. It could be shame, it could be guilt, it could be control, but these aren't clearly for us to see. But it is clearly a sign that your nervous system is dysregulated, because it does not know how to rest. And there can be many survival reasons for this. For women in particular, this could mean not finding worth in just like not doing anything. Doing something, achieving, accomplishing has become so ingrained into the nervous system that in exchange, we have made an agreement with our self-worth. Every time that I do something, and even though there's so much information around this, that we still operate in a way that it's dysregulated. So this is just one of the many examples that I can continue just to provide, because every person is completely different. And that doesn't mean that you're not operating on survival. But if anything that makes you feel that there's something wrong, there's a problem, that you're not satisfied, that you're irritated, if you catch yourself comparing, judging, complaining, all of those are signs of survival. Or wishing for justice if you feel that somebody owes you, all of these are survival because they are founded in scarcity and need. However, we have normalized those. But that's the intention of this video, just to continue just to reinforce the message that majority of the things that we do that feel normal to us, even if it feels okay, normal, safe, it could be coming and stemming from a survival driven place. So if you have identified with any of these, how can you regulate? By continuing to raise your awareness around things that doesn't make you happy, that irritates you, that trigger, that it's a huge piece or factor for you to increase your awareness around. What are the things that make you feel irritated, angry, that triggered you, that made you feel upset, that annoy you? Because that's information about you. So you raise your awareness, give yourself the chance to dive deeper. That you would like instead of that feeling? That will be a great question. And many times people say peace, many times people say calm or understanding or being seen or being taken into consideration. So what does that say that you don't have either one of those? And how often are you in that position? Because we're not talking about just a one-time thing. We're humans, and of course, we will always go through these type of moments. But if you catch yourself often in that particular state, then this is not just a one-time thing or an isolated moment or emotion that you were experiencing. There's a pattern here. There's a worldview. And there's that perception that it's contributing to create the world the exact same way that you're seeing it. Through that awareness, through that acknowledgement, then you can make a conscious choice. So what is your part? Could it be to let it go? To let go of the control? To welcome more grace or understanding or boundaries? If it's something that it's completely not to be tolerated, to raise your standards, whatever you feel that it's needed to get you to where you want to be, it's all about making that choice, that commitment, and that recommitment to honor that. And that is the moment where the regulation starts, because going into the opposite direction will trigger your nervous system. We'll tell you, wait, hold on, where are you going? What are we doing? This is not you. This is not us. And is at that time that you get to say, no, this is me. This is the new me. This is my choice today. Is it about eating, or is it about setting a boundary with someone? Is it about self-care, doing something that it's important and healthy for you? And taking a deep breath, regulating, and continuing your commitment in your practice that will help you rewire your nervous system. I hope this is helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because this is what we need. This is what we need as society, as high achievers. It's the step needed towards transformation that will shift our society and so much what it's needed in the world to where we want to truly be that transformation that we so much seek within. If you have any questions or thoughts, just reach out. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And you can also connect with me through my website, insightfulessence.com, or my podcast, Insightful Success, or my Facebook group, where we have a community to share this mindset, this mission to live in a regulated nervous system society. Till next time.